Have you ever wondered why it's often said that in old age, one should not go visiting around? This age-old advice carries profound wisdom that can transform how you or your loved ones navigate the golden years. In today's video, we're delving into the heartfelt and practical reasons behind this saying, exploring why staying home can be a powerful choice for seniors. From protecting your health to nurturing emotional well-being, these insights will resonate with anyone seeking a fulfilling life in later years. You need to watch until the end because we'll reveal a surprising reason that could change how you approach aging and inspire you to share this wisdom with those you care about most. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. When we were younger, the simple act of inviting friends over to our homes carried an unmistakable sense of joy and camaraderie that permeated every aspect of those gatherings. These occasions were not merely social events but cherished rituals that brought a unique blend of warmth, spontaneity, and unfiltered connection. Unlike the often rigid and time-constrained atmosphere of restaurants, where waitstaff interruptions, ambient noise, and the pressure of bills could stifle the flow of interaction, home settings offered a liberating freedom. Friends could arrive without the formality of reservations, linger as long as the conversation demanded, and move seamlessly from the kitchen table to the living room couch or even the backyard patio. The air would fill with the aromas of home-cooked meals, perhaps a pot of simmering stew or freshly baked bread, prepared with care and shared generously. Conversations would meander effortlessly, touching on everything from daily triumphs and tribulations to dreams for the future, philosophical musings, or light-hearted banter about shared memories. Laughter would echo through the rooms, creating an invisible bond that made everyone feel truly seen and valued. We would rotate hosting duties among our circle, each home visit revealing a bit more about the host's personality through their decor, family photos, or personal quirks. These interactions weren't superficial. They were built on a foundation of sincerity, where authenticity reigned supreme. We firmly believed that true friendship thrived on honesty, vulnerability, and mutual respect, and these home-based gatherings reinforced that belief, forging relationships that felt enduring and profound. However, as the decades have unfolded, we've observed a profound and somewhat melancholic shift in societal norms that has altered the very fabric of how we connect with others. The sincerity we once prized so highly, the unvarnished truthfulness that allowed us to be our genuine selves, now appears to be increasingly overshadowed by a pervasive culture of superficiality, pretense, and performative interactions. In this modern era, dominated by social media facades and curated online personas, genuine individuals who prioritize depth over display have become an endangered species, much like rare artifacts in a museum of fleeting trends. The ideals we clung to in our youth, such as unwavering honesty in friendships and the courage to express true emotions, are frequently tested and eroded by external pressures. The ancient proverb, "Those who approach red become red, and those who approach ink become black," resonates more deeply than ever, serving as a metaphorical lens through which we can view this transformation. It illustrates how our surroundings, the people we associate with, and the cultural currents we navigate can subtly but inexorably shape our values, perceptions, and behaviors, often pulling us away from authenticity toward conformity or cynicism. In the contemporary world, characterized by relentless busyness, digital distractions, and a growing emphasis on individualism, it's hardly astonishing that our views on friendship have undergone a significant evolution. The once common practice of opening our homes to friends has waned, replaced by a more guarded approach where personal spaces are treated as sanctuaries not to be lightly shared. Our expectations for the depth of connections have lowered, and many relationships now hover on the surface, sustained by occasional texts or social media likes rather than meaningful, in-person exchanges. The veneer of politeness, polished smiles, scripted compliments, and avoided confrontations has become the norm, often masking underlying indifference or unresolved tensions. This shift isn't just personal. It's reflective of broader societal changes, including increased mobility that scatters friends across cities or countries, economic pressures that leave little time for hosting, and a heightened awareness of privacy in an age of surveillance and oversharing. As a result, friendships can feel more transient and less rooted, lacking the solid ground that home visits once provided. To illustrate this evolution, let's delve into the life of Mr. Lee, a 50-year-old man whose journey mirrors the quiet introspection many experience with age. Over the years, Mr. Lee has consciously cultivated a preference for solitude, transforming what might seem like isolation into a deliberate embrace of peace and self-sufficiency. His daily routine is a model of simplicity and mindfulness. On days he chooses to stay home, he might start with a leisurely breakfast while reading a book on philosophy or history, then move to his small garden where he meticulously prunes roses or plants seasonal vegetables, finding therapeutic value in the rhythm of nature. In the afternoons, he savors a cup of freshly brewed green tea on his porch, watching the world go by with a contemplative gaze. When the mood strikes, he heads out for solitary activities like a brisk walk in a nearby park or fishing at a tranquil lakeside spot, where the gentle lapping of water and the tug of a line provide a meditative escape. Social outings are infrequent and carefully chosen. When he does meet friends, it's invariably at a neutral, low-pressure venue such as a cozy restaurant or a public cafe, avoiding the intimacy of home invitations. This noticeable detachment has piqued the curiosity of his relatives, who often inquire about his seemingly reclusive lifestyle, wondering if it's a sign of unhappiness or disconnection. In response, Mr. Lee patiently explains that aging inherently brings about transformations in lifestyle and outlook. The accumulation of life experiences, joys, sorrows, successes, and failures, has broadened his perspective, allowing him to discern what truly matters. In his youth, social gatherings felt indispensable, fueling his energy and sense of belonging. But now, with the wisdom of hindsight, he recognizes that many of those interactions were fleeting or obligatory, lacking the substance to withstand time. His priorities have shifted toward inner fulfillment. The quiet joy of solitary pursuits, the deep satisfaction of nurturing his garden as a metaphor for personal growth, or the serene pleasure of fishing, which teaches patience and acceptance. Above all, he treasures time with his immediate family. Shared meals with his spouse, storytelling sessions with grandchildren, or quiet evenings watching sunsets together, where the bonds feel unbreakable and nourishing. Gradually, he has distanced himself from the whirlwind of social engagements, realizing that the constant comings and goings of acquaintances do not equate to true friendship. Instead of investing energy in insincere pleasantries or superficial small talk, Mr. Lee has chosen the liberating path of solitude, where he can explore his thoughts freely and live on his own terms, unencumbered by external expectations. This pattern of embracing solitude and reevaluating social habits is remarkably common among the elderly, who often carve out personalized rhythms and routines that align with their evolving needs and desires in later life. As physical energy wanes and priorities realign, many become increasingly hesitant to visit others' homes, viewing such excursions as potentially burdensome or misaligned with their comfort levels. The unfamiliar environment of someone else's household can introduce elements of inconvenience. Different schedules, varying levels of tidiness, or even subtle cultural differences in hospitality that disrupt one's sense of ease. Moreover, the effort involved in preparing for a visit, traveling, and adapting to another's space can feel disproportionately taxing, especially when contrasted with the familiarity and control of one's own home. Consequently, a growing number of older adults opt to minimize these visits, preferring instead to maintain connections through less invasive means like phone calls, video chats, or occasional outings to public spaces. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Several interrelated reasons contribute to this preference for limited social visits. Foremost among them is the perception that such visits can inadvertently become disturbances. Every family operates with its own unique dynamics, established routines for meals, work, or relaxation that an external visitor might unwittingly interrupt. In old age, individuals often feel a heightened sense of responsibility, recognizing that they no longer act solely as individuals but as representatives of their own family units. An invitation from a friend, extended out of politeness or social convention, doesn't necessarily extend to enthusiastic acceptance from the host's spouse, children, or other household members. There's always the risk that the visit could be seen as an imposition, leading to underlying resentment or awkwardness that taints the interaction. A compelling example of this nuance comes from the experiences of Uncle Ma, my affable next-door neighbor, whose story serves as a cautionary tale about the pitfalls of over-enthusiastic social pursuits in later years. Now in his 60s, Uncle Ma is a warm-hearted soul with a passion for storytelling, good food, and most notably, a fondness for drinking that harkens back to his younger, more boisterous days. He often laments the lack of regular companions for these indulgences, making any opportunity to share a drink feel like a rare gift. One day, I serendipitously encountered a high school classmate in our community and learned that he lived just a few blocks away. At 60 myself, the reunion sparked a wave of nostalgia, and the classmate graciously invited both Uncle Ma and me to his home for a simple meal accompanied by drinks. For Uncle Ma, this was a golden chance. His eyes lit up at the prospect of reliving old times over glasses of his favorite whiskey. Enthused, Uncle Ma dove into the arrangement with gusto. On weekends, he would prepare a few homemade dishes, perhaps spicy stir-fried vegetables or marinated meats, and arrive at his classmate's door with a bottle in hand, ready for hours of animated conversation. The gathering started pleasantly, filled with reminiscences about school pranks, lost loves, and life lessons learned. However, subtle signs of discomfort began to emerge. His classmate's wife would greet them with a polite but strained smile, her body language hinting at unease, perhaps a glance at the clock or a hurried excuse to tend to household chores. Uncle Ma, ever the optimist and perhaps a bit oblivious in his excitement, dismissed these cues, focusing instead on the joy of camaraderie. This pattern continued for several weeks, with Uncle Ma visiting every few days, each time bearing gifts of food and drink to enhance the experience. It was during one such visit that the situation came to a head. His classmate, pulling him aside after a particularly lively session, confided with a mix of regret and honesty. "Every weekend you come to drink, and while I enjoy our time, my wife and children have expressed big concerns. They feel their daily life is being disrupted. The noise, the extended hours, it throws off our family rhythm." The words landed like a gentle but firm blow to Uncle Ma, who had interpreted the initial invitation as an open-ended welcome. He hadn't considered the broader impact on the household, assuming his presence was as appreciated by all as it was by his old friend. This revelation prompted a period of reflection for Uncle Ma, teaching him the importance of reading social cues and respecting boundaries, even among long-time acquaintances. In old age, one of the most poignant fears is the specter of inactivity or profound loneliness, where days stretch out emptily without purpose or human connection. Thus, discovering someone to converse with, a neighbor for daily chats, a friend for occasional meetups, or an old classmate for nostalgic exchanges, can infuse life with renewed vitality and joy. These interactions serve as anchors, helping to structure time, stimulate the mind, and ward off the isolation that can accompany retirement or diminished mobility. Yet, as Uncle Ma's story illustrates, the pursuit of such social fulfillment is not without its challenges. Frequent visits, while enriching, carry the risk of unintended consequences. A misinterpreted joke leading to offense, an overstep in familiarity sparking tension, or simply the cumulative strain on the host's resources causing fatigue. Misunderstandings can escalate into disputes, eroding the very relationships one seeks to nurture. Therefore, striking a balance is crucial. Maintaining meaningful connections while honoring others' space and preferences ensures that social interactions remain positive and sustainable. This theme of caution in social engagements is echoed in the life of Miss Wong, a spirited retiree who resides upstairs in my building and whose experiences further highlight the complexities of aging and relationships. Miss Wong, with her lively demeanor and infectious energy, has discovered a profound preference for the solitude of her cozy apartment, where she immerses herself in the captivating world of television dramas. Her days are filled with binge-watching intricate storylines of romance, intrigue, and family sagas, often accompanied by a pot of herbal tea and her collection of knitted blankets. This choice stems from a series of past conflicts that left lasting impressions, particularly involving her daughter-in-law. On one memorable occasion, a seemingly innocuous visit to a friend's home spiraled into a heated argument when Miss Wong's well-intentioned advice on household matters was perceived as meddling. The fallout was swift and painful. Her son, caught in the middle, scolded her harshly, accusing her of overstepping boundaries and complicating family dynamics. These incidents, compounded by other similar experiences, have made Miss Wong increasingly wary of venturing into others' homes, fearing the potential for miscommunication or rejection. Despite this caution, her spirit remains undimmed in other areas. After retiring from a long career in education, she threw herself into community activities with enthusiasm, particularly square dancing in the local park. There, amid a group of fellow retired women, she twirls and steps to upbeat music, her laughter ringing out as she forms casual bonds through shared rhythms and post-dance chats over snacks. This activity provides a safe outlet for socialization, public, time-bound, and low commitment, allowing her to enjoy human connection without the intimacy or risks associated with home visits. Miss Wong's story underscores a key lesson. While solitude can be a refuge, selective engagement in group activities can offer a fulfilling middle ground, preserving one's peace while staving off isolation. Reflecting on the narratives of Mr. Li, Uncle Ma, and Miss Wong, it becomes evident that the transformation in social habits during later life is influenced by a multifaceted interplay of personal histories, societal evolutions, and shifting internal priorities. The sincerity and openness that once animated our youthful friendships may still flicker in moments of genuine connection, but they are often moderated by the accumulated wisdom of experience, which teaches us to guard our energy and seek quality over quantity. For many, the decision to favor solitude or curtail visits isn't an outright dismissal of companionship, but a thoughtful recalibration towards self-care and mutual respect. As we age, we come to appreciate that true bonds endure not through constant presence but through understanding and empathy. In navigating these changes, we can rediscover joy in the small, authentic moments. Whether in the quiet introspection of a garden, the shared laughter of a dance group, or the rare, heartfelt reunion that reminds us of the enduring power of sincere relationships. Ultimately, this evolution invites us to redefine friendship on our own terms, embracing the freedom to live fully in the present, unburdened by the expectations of the past. On rainy days, when the skies over the quaint coastal town of her youth, now a bustling suburb, darken with heavy clouds and the relentless patter of raindrops transforms the streets into glistening rivers, Miss Wong and her devoted circle of friends must reluctantly set aside their beloved outdoor dancing. The dance sessions, typically held in the open square under the shade of ancient banyan trees, where the air hums with the melodies of traditional folk tunes and the synchronized steps of silver-haired companions, become impossible in such weather. Instead, these resilient women, who have weathered decades of life's ups and downs together, turn to a comforting alternative, taking turns visiting each other's homes. These visits are a cherished ritual, a bridge between their active days and the quiet introspection that rain often invites. Gathered in cozy living rooms adorned with faded family photos and the faint scent of incense from ancestral altars, they share steaming cups of oolong tea, delicate porcelain bowls of warm congee topped with pickled vegetables, and plates of handmade dumplings filled with shrimp and chives. Their conversations, laced with laughter and the occasional sigh of reminiscence, flow like the rain outside, sometimes light and refreshing, other times deep and revealing. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. One particularly drizzly afternoon, the group found themselves at Mr. Li's modest 2-story home, a place that exuded the quiet charm of old-world simplicity with its wooden floors creaking underfoot and shelves lined with yellowed books on Chinese history and herbal remedies. The rain drummed a steady rhythm on the tin roof, creating a soothing backdrop as they settled into worn armchairs, the steam from their teacups curling upward like whispers. The discussion meandered from the health benefits of ginger tea to the evolving roles of women in modern society, eventually landing on Mr. Li's experiences with his daughters-in-law. In this intimate setting, Miss Wong, feeling the ease of long-standing friendship, offered a seemingly casual observation about her own family dynamics. She remarked on her daughter-in-law's perceived lack of initiative in household tasks, perhaps not noticing when the laundry needed folding or the kitchen counters needed wiping, attributing it gently to the challenges of marrying an only child. In her view, only children, often the sole focus of parental affection and resources, might grow up somewhat spoiled, accustomed to having things done for them, which could lead to subtle frictions in married life. Her tone was light, accompanied by a wry smile, intended as a shared moment of empathy among peers who had navigated similar familial waters. Miss Wong could never have anticipated the ripple effects of her words. In small communities like theirs, where neighbors share walls and stories travel swiftly through phone calls or chance encounters at the local market, confidentiality is a fragile thing. Somehow, perhaps through a well-intentioned retelling by Mr. Li to his own family, or an overheard snippet during a phone conversation, the comment made its way to her daughter-in-law. Devoid of the original context, the remark transformed in perception, evolving from a benign musing into a sharp critique. To her daughter-in-law, a hard-working young woman balancing a full-time job as a teacher with family duties, it felt like a direct assault on her character, implying ingratitude or laziness. The misunderstanding brewed like a storm, creating an invisible barrier in their home, where once there had been easy banter over dinner preparations. When the tension surfaced, Miss Wong was heartbroken. She arranged a private conversation in the family's sunlit kitchen, the aroma of simmering chicken broth from the evening meal still lingering in the air. With a trembling voice, she explained her intentions. The comment was not a condemnation but a fleeting thought, one of many idle exchanges in a friendly gathering, meant to evoke understanding rather than offense. Yet, her daughter-in-law, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, responded with a frosty reserve. Her replies curt, her posture rigid, as if guarding against further hurt. The situation escalated when Miss Wong's son, a dutiful man in his 40s who worked as an engineer and often mediated family matters, intervened. He reprimanded his mother gently but firmly, accusing her of engaging in gossip that could fracture their household harmony. His words stung like the rain against a window pane, leaving Miss Wong to retreat to her room, pondering the unintended consequences of her candor. This episode etched itself deeply into Miss Wong's psyche, serving as a poignant reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in social visits. What had promised to be a day of comfort and connection had unraveled into emotional discord, underscoring how easily words, even those laced with goodwill, could be misinterpreted in the echo chamber of family relations. From that day forward, Miss Wong approached her interactions with greater caution, viewing her dance sessions as a purer form of companionship. On the dance floor, amid the swirl of colorful skirts and the upbeat tempo of era music, communication transpired through gestures and shared energy rather than spoken words. She began to advocate for minimal conversation in social settings, believing that brevity could safeguard against misunderstandings and nurture lasting harmony. Dancing, in her eyes, was not just exercise but a metaphor for balanced living, moving in unison without the risk of verbal missteps that could disrupt the rhythm of relationships. Beyond the snares of miscommunication, another layer of complexity in social visits arises from the varying economic conditions that quietly shape interactions within a community. In neighborhoods where families have coexisted for generations, financial disparities can lurk beneath the surface, emerging subtly during home visits. Even among friends who share cultural roots and holiday traditions, differences in wealth, stemming from career paths, inheritance, or sheer luck, can create an unspoken divide. When a more affluent family hosts, their home might unwittingly showcase signs of prosperity. Polished marble countertops, a state-of-the-art kitchen stocked with imported gadgets, or a dining table groaning under the weight of exotic fruits and gourmet delicacies like abalone and bird's nest soup. These displays, though offered with hospitality, can evoke feelings of superiority on one side and inadequacy on the other, turning a simple visit into a psychological minefield. Take, for instance, a scenario where a wealthier host serves an opulent spread of dim sum from a high-end restaurant, complete with crystal glasses and fine linens. The less affluent guests, perhaps retirees living on modest pensions from factory work or small businesses, might feel a quiet pang of envy or self-consciousness, knowing their own homes lack such luxuries. Reciprocating becomes a source of anxiety. Should they invite back, they might stretch their budget thin, leading to resentment or avoidance. Over time, these disparities foster a psychological imbalance, where subconscious comparisons erode the joy of connection. The elderly, drawing from a lifetime of societal expectations rooted in Confucian values of harmony and face-saving, may feel this strain acutely. A visit might trigger memories of harder times, amplifying feelings of inadequacy or sparking envy that simmers beneath polite smiles. Psychologically, such comparisons align with social comparison theory, where individuals gauge their own worth against others, often leading to emotional distress in unequal settings. Frequent visits between economically disparate families can exacerbate this, transforming social interactions from sources of comfort into burdens. During festive seasons, this tension is magnified. Traditionally, events like Lunar New Year involved elaborate visits. Families dressed in red attire, exchanging mandarin oranges for good luck, and sharing feasts of longevity noodles and pineapple tarts while children received red envelopes filled with crisp bills. These customs, rooted in ancient agrarian societies to strengthen communal bonds, were once the highlight of the year. However, in the 21st century, amid rapid urbanization and the pressures of global economies, a profound shift has occurred. Many now prefer the solitude of home during these periods, opting to lounge in pajamas, binge-watch historical dramas on streaming services, or scroll through family photos on their smartphones. This isn't a dismissal of cultural heritage but a response to modern exhaustion, the grind of long commutes, dual-income households, and the digital overload of constant connectivity. Socializing, once a respite, now feels obligatory and draining, especially when laced with potential for comparison or conflict. In this hurried era, where life accelerates like a high-speed train, solitude offers a counterbalance. a space to recharge without the performative aspects of visits. If you're still immersed in this narrative and drawing insights from these reflections, please consider leaving a comment with the number 2 to signal your engagement. Your input not only affirms the resonance of these stories but also inspires further exploration of how we navigate the intricate web of human relationships. The embrace of solitude gains profound significance as we traverse the later stages of life. In youth, solitude is frequently misconstrued as loneliness, a void to be filled with constant activity and social validation. The cultural narrative, amplified by social media's highlight reels of parties and friendships, portrays a sparse social circle as a personal shortcoming, prompting many to chase superficial connections out of fear. Yet, as decades accumulate, bringing with them the wisdom of trials and triumphs, solitude reveals itself as a treasure. It is a deliberate practice of self-companionship, offering fertile ground for introspection, creativity, and growth. Far from isolation, it becomes a canvas for rediscovering passions, perhaps journaling forgotten dreams or tending a herb garden that yields basil and mint for homemade teas. This epiphany is liberating, unshackling us from societal expectations and empowering a focus on authentic living. As life's tapestry grows more complex, woven with threads of health concerns, retirement adjustments, and the poignant shifts in family roles, the sanctity of close kin emerges as paramount. The profound love for children, grandchildren, and spouses deepens, providing an anchor of fulfillment that casual acquaintances cannot match. In this phase, indifference toward the outer world superficialities allows for richer investment in familial bonds, where shared meals or quiet evenings watching the sunset foster unbreakable ties. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Nevertheless, even these core relationships can be tested by the rigors of frequent home visits. The logistics alone, scrubbing every corner, sourcing ingredients for a multi-course meal, and sustaining energy for hours of conversation, can overwhelm, particularly for those in their golden years facing arthritis or diminished stamina. Hosting transforms from joy to chore, with the mental load of ensuring guests' comfort adding invisible weight. To mitigate this, opting for neutral venues proves transformative. Imagine convening at a serene tea house overlooking a lotus pond, where the clink of porcelain and the murmur of water create a backdrop for unhurried dialogue, free from domestic duties. Or a community park picnic, with blankets spread under cherry blossoms, allowing laughter to flow without the pressure of perfection. As aging progresses, the inevitability of loss, friends relocating to distant cities, loved ones succumbing to illness, or the slow fade of once vibrant connections, carves a profound emptiness. Embracing solitude here is an act of resilience, a journey toward inner fortitude. It involves reframing alone time as an opportunity. Mornings spent meditating on life cycles, afternoons lost in classic literature like the works of Lao Tzu, or evenings stargazing to contemplate existence. This adaptation builds emotional armor, equipping us to face future uncertainties with grace. Solitude, when welcomed, becomes a wellspring of tranquility, a refuge from life's cacophony, nurturing personal evolution and a harmonious inner dialogue. It empowers us to confront aging's challenges, from physical frailty to existential questions, with renewed vigor. As we conclude this exploration, inspired by Miss Wong's poignant tale and the multifaceted insights on social dynamics, economic undercurrents, and solitude's grace, pause for reflection. What revelations have surfaced about transitioning from gregarious youth to contemplative elderhood? How do these narratives reshape your perspectives on boundaries, empathy, and self-care? Perhaps you've envisioned applying these lessons, curtailing visits to preserve peace or carving out solitary rituals for rejuvenation. Share your epiphanies, and together, let's delve deeper into the art of living meaningfully in an ever-changing world. That's a wrap on why it's said that in old age, one should not go visiting around. We've uncovered the heartfelt reasons behind this timeless wisdom, from preserving energy to prioritizing health and emotional well-being. Now, we want to hear from you. What's one key lesson you've learned from this video that you'll bring into practice in your life? Drop it in the comments below and let's spark a meaningful conversation. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing insights.